I want to show you a guy with a disgusting smirk when it comes to dictatorship and authoritarianism. Here is Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, asked about the law, and he has a smirk because of what they are planning to do. Check this out.
There are laws on the books that make it a criminal offense to shield or harbor illegal immigrants, like the sanctuary state city leaders have been doing. Do you think they should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law?
Look at the smirk on this guy.
They put in prison?
Absolutely. And hold tight on that one, because it's coming. It's coming. I've been clear on that since day one. The sanctuary city can sit by and watch their communities get ravaged by illegal aliens. They can watch young women get raped and murdered. Trump administration not going to stand for that.
Understand the extraordinary double standard here. On the one hand, one of the things we talk about is if you really want to take a big bite out of the undocumented immigrant problem as defined, what about enforcing the law that it's illegal to hire undocumented labor? They don't do that. They do the deportations one by one, but they don't go after the fact that there's a huge market for that labor. If companies didn't hire undocumented immigrants and verified legal work status, we wouldn't have a lot of this problem. Those laws they don't want to enforce. But now what Homan is smirking about is they're going to try to figure out a way to go after sanctuary cities. Could we arrest a mayor that simply doesn't cooperate proactively with DHS and ICE? This is the sort of thing that they are gleefully going to try to do. Same day, Tom Homan appeared on Fox News to talk about the wrongly deported Abrego Garcia. Here's what he had to say would happen if he somehow does end up back in the United States.
There and demand his release.
Well, good luck with that. Carolyn Levin is exactly right. Every time I read a story about this, it's Maryland Father, Maryland Father. They don't mention he's a member of MS-13, who is a designated terrorist group, one of the most violent gangs in the world. They don't mention he's an MS-13 member. They don't mention he's an El Salvadoran citizen being held by the country of El Salvador. El Salvador makes that decision. Now the courts said we got to facilitate. We'll facilitate, but El Salvador has full authority on this. Again, a terrorist threat. Now, if somehow he comes back and that happens, he's going to be detained and removed again. He's an MS-13 gang member based on our intelligence and El Salvador's intelligence. He will be detained and he will be deported. But what's the sense of bringing someone back that's simply going to face deportation again?
Well, of course, the entire point here is that the law gives people access to due process. I was going to say it guarantees them due process. It's not guaranteed because they're not doing it, right? What does guaranteed mean in this environment? And Tom Homan saying this makes it clear that a new deportation is not inevitable. If you listen carefully, what Homan says is if he comes back, he will immediately face deportation again. But the truth is that he faced deportation once before in 2019, and he avoided deportation. He could, in fact, avoid deportation again. This is why we have due process. This is why when Caroline Levitt says he's an MS-13 member, we say, you haven't demonstrated that. You've presented no evidence in public, and no court or immigration judge has determined that. To them, due process has become a technicality when supposedly to constitutional conservatives, it was the most important and highest power, due process, the rule of law. My, how things have changed. And we'll see ultimately what happens with Homan's idea of going after those who simply refuse to cooperate with immigration authorities. This is terrifying stuff. After researching, writing, refining, The Echo Machine, my book is finally out. This is not just a book about how American politics got so broken. It's also about what's happening right now and what we can still do to stop things from getting worse. Trump's been back in power. The results have been even more catastrophic than many feared, with targeting of political opponents and gutting democratic institutions, laying the groundwork to even further consolidate power. But the thing is that none of this is inevitable. The same forces that brought us here can be countered if we understand how they work and what to do about them. And that's what the Echo Machine is all about. Some say that without corporate media backing, books like this can't succeed. I think we can prove them wrong. You can get the Echo Machine right now at davidpacman.com/echo on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Audible, Kindle, or by calling any local bookstore and asking them to order it. This book is more important than ever. If you care about what happens next, and I do, check out the Echo Machine today at davidpacman.com/echo.